Well, so let's transition on here to the Kyrie Irving situation. Obviously, we don't need to spend a lot of time on it. I mean, there's a million videos and articles circulating, but just to give our takes to the audience that doesn't know us that well yet, what I mean, what's your opinion on the Kyrie situation? Just as far as how the Nets are handling it, how Kyrie's handling it, just whatever just your opinion on the situation.
Well, I think the Nets organization is kinda handling it pretty poorly,
I agree. I agree.
and I think they're really trying to use their power to push him, to, sway his decision, and basically force his hand. Now, if he wasn't Kyrie Irving, if he was a smaller player, he definitely get, bullied into it, but I think Kyrie being who he is and making the career that he has, I think he has a little bit more
Mhm.
weight to where he can fight back a little bit.
Well, and not only that, but the yeah, well, and not only that, but the Nets have to realize who they're dealing with. Kyrie is pretty fragile mentally in the first place. I mean, the dude takes games off to like meditate and shit. So
And, yeah, put stage around the court before,
yeah,
games
yeah,
against
like,
former teams that he played on.
and I say to each his own. If that's what he's got to do, that's what he's got to do. But that is not the guy that you want to be pushing this hard. Now, I mean, I'm not saying to coddle him either. Kyrie's kind of got the Nets nuts in a vice because he said I believe I saw something recently about he might retire if they trade him.
He commented on that. He said, he let he was he I think he put on his Instagram where he went live saying that, at least let him have a press conference, let him speak his own word because he never said that. He said he's not gonna retire just because COVID or because, the league's trying to bully him into getting a vaccine. So he shut that down.
Well, did he say anything about the possible trade thing though? Because I mean that's my
I don't
next.
think he did, but that was ridiculous that, I saw that the Nets don't plan on giving him an extension because of basically how all that went down.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean, I personally wouldn't want Kyrie anywhere near my team because the guy is just such a head case to deal with, and I'm not. That's how he wants to live is how he wants to live. But if you're going to be cutting the check, then you want to be cutting the check to a guy that is going to show up and be available on game day. So
I agree.
that being that being said, now the one thing I wanted to mention was the Kyrie playing half the games, not playing half the games, that situation. There's kind of two ways to look at that. On one hand, if he does play half the games, that could screw with chemistry, team chemistry, and having him be there half the time. I don't think I have to describe how many issues that could cause. That being said, the Nets point guard depth is so mediocre, and that's being a little generous, I do think.
I think so, yeah.
That honestly, I mean, half the time, half Kyrie with half chemistry is still better than a lot of their point guard depth. Now, I mean, they could run Harden at the point guard. He's one of the most underrated passers in basketball. So if they
And he
wanted
did it in Houston for several years, yeah.
yeah, I mean, so they're not strapped for they're not in a tough place where they need to put Kyrie at point guard, but I think allowing him to play half the games and all the locker room issues that could cause, it's not really worth it. But also, and this is a half joke, but also it's pretty true. Kyrie only playing half the games is about the only way he'll be healthy by the time the playoffs come around. I mean, this dude, he's got to take games to meditate. He gets injured constantly.
His
I
ankle
mean,
injuries, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise if you think about it.
his shoulder, his ankle, his knees, like just all kinds of stuff with this guy. And yeah, so if but honestly, I if what do you think the Nets need to do here? I mean, because you can't. Let's be realistic here. You can't just, at least if you're smart, you can't just have him sit there and just sit the year out and hope that they lift those mandates in New York City.
Well, I do have an answer to your question. I think Katie I know Harden, but I think it was Katie and a few other members of the Nets were gonna meet with the mayor, in Brooklyn, um, and, whoever else in that state, the governor, I think, to, request or try to, apply, or kinda like we just get that ruling that you can't play home games, get it reversed. So I think they're working on that. I was also very, interested to hear that James Harden hasn't really been in contact with Kyrie about the whole vaccine situation,
That
which is
seems
very
pretty on brand for Harden,
but
honestly.
I'm happy about that because
Mhm.
essentially he's saying that I'm not gonna, be a puppet for you, and I'm not gonna, play, counselor, between Kyrie and the Nets. That's the Nets and that's Kyrie's, deal. That's not mine. No,
Yeah, well, and then also, I mean, that's just uh seems pretty on brand for him. I mean, he's just like, you know what? I'm here to do my job and ball. I'm here to put up 30 points, 15 assists, and like five boards or whatever
no
on a
matter
bunch
what
of
shape I'm
crazy.
in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Looking like an uncle that sticks his fork in your plate at a barbecue or being jacked. Either way, he's gonna give you that. So, yeah, I mean, he's there to do his thing. He's not a very, uh, not at all an outgoing person. It seems like so. I don't think he's gonna put it on himself to go and get in Kyrie and the Nets business. He's just gonna show up for work and do what he can to win.
And yeah, I don't think he's really try to intervene any conflicts in team conflicts in the past. So I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty on brand.
Uh, the man, I bet the Nets are missing Spencer Dinwiddie right about now, huh?
Yeah, I mean he's over in Washington now.
That's what I thought it was. Didn't he do a thing like, hey, fans pick my next team, like, and he did like a poll and people voted for where he signed?
I mean maybe
I
that
thought I could
seems
have sworn
vaguely familiar.
I could have sworn I saw something about that,
If
and
he did, that'd be amazing.
be hilarious, although pretty stupid for his career. I mean, he must be content with just showing up and playing ball. He doesn't seem to care about winning. Because if I were him, like, I'd go to. I mean, if he wants to win, obviously he could just join the Lakers or the freaking uh what was the other team? The Bucks.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, something like that.